from 1973. When Jack and I tossed around the idea that I would seek employment outside of the home, since our family were grown, hang with me, I headed to Purdue. In early August, I came to Freehafer Hall, put in an application. They gave me a written and a typing test, gave me an interview on the spot, and then sent me to Terry Courts. I interviewed with Bill Johnson, and he gave me a tour of the facilities. But he told me that there was someone else who was interested in the job, and he would let me know. Well, I wasn't really very confident. As I said, I hadn't worked outside the home up to that point. But thanks to Irma, she wanted to transfer to Terry Court, and a week later, Elaine Wilson called me from Earhart Hall and asked me to come for an interview. Well, I had known Elaine previously, so that was already a plus on my part. And I came in and interviewed and took the tour, and she looked at me and she said, "The job is yours, but you're not going to like the hours." The clerk's pay scale was $2 an hour, but I got an extra 20 cents because I worked the night shift. I trained during the day for a week with Joe Ottinger, who was the day secretary, and then assumed the night routine. I don't know whether there's any counselors here from that first year, but they were the ones who mentored me through that whole first year because they had worked the shift during the summer. The hours were 5 to 11, Monday through Thursday, 5 to 12, or 5 to 1 on Friday and Saturday night. So that meant I worked 6 nights a week. And that went on for 6 years. And then John Lou Harrington was here as manager, and I said to John Lou, I really would like to have my weekends. My own children, my own girls were out of college, and everybody was working, and my weekends were becoming a little more special. So she said, don't do anything until Rod and I get back from vacation, and we'll talk about it. And I said, okay. I was going to look for something 5 days a week. And so when they got back, I presume, and Mr. Sauter will know this, that she cleared it with Residence Hall administration first before she made the proposal. But she met me in the back room and said, we've got it all figured out. She had cleared with the day staff that I would come in at 4 o'clock in the afternoon and work till 12, and that would be Monday through Friday. Well, it sounded terrific to me, and Patty and Deb thought it was a great idea because I could come in and cover for them as they finished their day and took care of the counter. And so that stayed until I retired. At the very beginning on the counter, we had meal exchange for only 30 people. And so as a guest, if you were going to come and have a meal in Earhart, you had to sign the exchange book, and you had to be a guest. And the other, we had 2 big computers, if my memory is right, and you used key cards, those early, and we also gave those out from the office. Mostly the work really involved as the changes were made with managers. Following John Lou Harrington's retirement, Alexis Lee became manager, and then following Alexis was Carolyn Newland. And we were so excited when Carolyn chose to come to Earhart Hall. And then Elizabeth finished my last 2 months, And I was just telling somebody this morning, that was during the day. I came back in for day on campus during the summer. It was a lot easier to leave my job by leaving in the summer instead of going back on the night shift and then having to walk away from it. But I knew I was leaving it in good hands because Doris Wallman, Kay Gwynn, and Ruby Jones would continue giving the students the same wonderful, wonderful service that we had been doing. The assistant managers had a great impact on my life, working many evenings, mentoring the students and the Itasca Club. They were great to share, and I learned to love them, not only as administrative staff, but as friends. The support and the sharing of the counselors and those staff residents, as you've seen out here, because those staff residents gave me my breaks. We never closed our office. Some places they did, but Earhart never closed the office. Staff residents came in and gave me my break. We were invited to weddings and to share in a lot of their personal lives, and it was the students who made my job. Giving tours to those incoming students and freshmen and their parents was probably one of my most favorite summer projects. Getting to know each one with a name and a personality was priceless. Students were the same, only the faces were different. Most of them were very motivated, energetic, and eager to assume their role in Earhart Hall and the university. As I said in the beginning, love is constant in our lives. First, we have to love ourselves because we cannot give something that we don't have. And then our family and our friends. I hope some of your Earhart friends have become your lifelong friends. My 25 years at Earhart were some of the most enjoyable and productive in my life. I thank each of you, students, parents, staff, and faculty fellows, for sharing my passion. And yes, retirement is great, change is good, and love is constant. Thank you.
Thank you, Lila. You kind of touched on this, but you know that you mentored more than just the residents. You mentored the staff, and we really appreciated you. You modeled for us how to support and encourage one another and how to accept one another, whoever we were. And you knew when we needed support, and you were there for us as well. And 16 years have passed since your retirement, but you continue to be an amazing friend and colleague. Thank you, Lila. Well, staff plays an important role in the life of the residence hall, the life of the students. So I would like to have all people who have worked for the residence halls, past, present, and stand and be recognized. It makes me think of that common saying, it takes a village. You know, it just takes a lot of people to make college successful, and that really happens right here, so thank you. Kalitra Williams Disbennett. She was an exceptional young woman who lived in Earhart Hall from 1994 to 1998. And she was a part of an amazing group of young women who really helped shape the hall as it is today, well known for its involvement and activity. And your group, you and your group of friends, you were outstanding volunteers, and you participated in everything, and you offered to be leaders. So it's only appropriate that we have Kalitra come and speak.
Good morning. Good morning. I cannot tell you how excited I am to be here. I have to contain myself. So one person I was not expecting to see here, I'm sorry, Jackie, but Jackie Battipaglia. She is honestly, she is Amelia Earhart. She really is. So she's in the third row on the right-hand side. She's a pilot. So make sure you talk to her. It's so good to see you. Elisa, Natia, Faith, Sean, so many girls that are here today that lived on the floor with me that honestly made Purdue and made Earhart Hall such a great memory for me. So, sorry, that's not on my notes, but I had to say it today. So I don't know how many of you have had a chance to take a tour of Earhart now that you've come back to visit, but you will notice that some things have changed. One has already been mentioned, which there are males that live here now. Yeah. I do remember one thing that was really funny, that we didn't have bed checks in the 90s, but I do think that those late night fire drills, that was a bed check. Do you guys remember the men that were coming out of rooms at 1 o'clock in the morning? That was a bed check. I didn't think about that until today. And I thought, yeah, that was a bed check. But there used to be computer labs here. No more computer labs, right? The staff obviously has changed. The structure of management and leadership at Purdue, as well as at the residence halls, has changed. The dining hall downstairs is now a dining court. A court. And, you know, when we look out the front window, that used to be a gravel lot for parking. There's a building there. I mean, so those are just over just the time that I was here, those things have all changed. But I will tell you something that has not changed, and I would say just from the people in this room, you all came back because Earhart meant something to you. And the impact and the memories and the experiences, those have not changed. Even though we don't have computer labs in Earhart anymore, even though men have joined us, that's okay. The thing that has not changed is our memories about what Earhart and what the staff and students have impressed upon us. And that's what I want to share with you today, because that is automatically, when I heard about the 50th anniversary, all of these memories start going through my head of, I remember staying up late on 4 West or 7 East with my good girlfriends. And it was a time that I had a crummy first year. And those girls made a difference for me. They made a difference. And so some of the other things that really were impactful for me was just the impression that the staff, resident assistants had on me as a leader. I'll just kind of give you a little landscape of the kind of incoming freshman that I was. First of all, in high school, I was not the leader type. Okay, I was the teacher's pet. I was really good at being a teacher's pet. I was so good. I got good grades. I joined several sports, basketball. I joined softball, I joined track, but I stunk at every one of those sports. I only joined them because I wanted to make friends. So of course I was never asked to be, team captain. I didn't even know the rules of the games. Nobody wanted me, so I wasn't a leader in that respect. Student council, I was a smart kid, but student council was for like the next level of smart kid. And I didn't want to do a leadership position in that either. I was not a leader if you'd asked me then. But I tell you, the first day that I came to Earhart Hall, I don't know how many of you lived on 7 East between 94 and 95 or 96, but the resident assistant on 7 East was Delphi. And some of the resident assistants might remember her, but the first floor meeting that we had, Delphi was looking for a floor senator. And I thought, let's just see what this is about. So I asked her about, what does a floor senator do? I thought, I can do that. write a few notes, tell people when, meetings were going to be. I really liked it. I loved it. I got to go around to people's room and say, hey, don't forget, tonight's a floor meeting, 7 o'clock, by the elevator. We're going to have great snacks. Or I'd tell them about something that was going on in the larger hall in and of itself. And it was good for me. In high school, I would have never done that. I would have never done that. That leadership position, I didn't think of it as a leadership position. I thought it was just fun. I liked writing potty talks and putting them up in the stalls, right? And people read what I wrote. I really liked that. But that position also helped me to get to know the office staff. Carolyn and Angela, I think, was the assistant manager at that time. I can't remember her last name. Mom Height, Doris, Kay, all of those people I got to know. Well, as I was getting to know them better, I also learned about other opportunities. Who was a student weekend office worker, a SWO? Yes, I became a SWO, but that was because I learned about a leadership position just on my floor. I got connected with people in the office. They told me, hey, you should think about this student weekend office worker deal. I thought, okay. I got to man the front desk, talk to people, give tours. I liked it. Yeah, it was pretty fun. I, again, didn't think of it as a leadership position. I was not a leader. I was not. Yes, I was. I just did not know it. I didn't know it. And then the next year, after that first year of being a SWO, I became the supervisor of the SWOs. And you know how that happened? And I know all of you guys had this. Elizabeth called me into her office and said, Kalitra, I know you'd be really good at this, which is how Elizabeth started off everything. Before she, right? Before she asked anybody to do anything, she'd start off with, you'd be really good at this. Again, I wasn't a leader, but I became the SWO coordinator, the SWO supervisor that following year. Again, turning into the leader I did not even know was inside of me. And it was because of the ladies on my floor, people just seeing in me, why don't you try this out? Or explaining to me what a position was. And I thought, I'll try it. And then I tried it and I liked it and I was good at it. And then it just boiled over from there. Secretary of Vitality.